I'm Jeff Johnson here, joining Therese, a volunteer with the Hospice Society. We're just going to talk a little bit about what she does and what she gets as a personal reward out of working with the people at the hospice. Therese, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about what you do for the people at the Hospice Society.
Well, I've been a volunteer for maybe 12 years, over 10 years anyways, and I've had different hats. I've been the coordinator of volunteers for a while and mostly being a volunteer. What I do is accompany people that are either terminally ill or that are in the active process of dying, and I do anything from keeping them company to giving a break to the family members, in being with the people so that can be at the people's home or in the hospital, and it can be anything from talking to them to going to buy something for them at the store, or giving the family a break, and just basically being an emotional support for people that are terminally ill and their families.
Talking to a hospice client earlier, she said that it was really important to have somebody else to talk to about the situations that they were in other than the family, because it was a different sort of burden that you could carry for them.
That's right, because we're somewhat emotionally more detached than a family member. Obviously, it can be easier to bring some things up without being afraid of hurting one's feelings or being an emotional burden, so people can open with more ease very often.
Right. Well, you've been with the Hospice Society for, you say, nearly 12 years. There must be something there that keeps you coming back, a reward that you feel it's worthwhile volunteering there personally.
It's a very rewarding thing to do. For me, it's like very often people that are very ill are so much more straightforward and present and want to enjoy every moment of their life a lot more than some of us, and we all do that sometimes, take it for granted, and we're not necessarily always present. And people that are in those situations, for something happens to us when we are, which we all go through it, which we then want to take advantage of every moment, and that the energy exchange is just beautiful. And it's a really good reminder for me too to be present in the moment and appreciate my health and what I have. And one of the other gifts is to just be there and know that maybe I'm making a little bit of a difference in somebody's day, which I love doing. And also as personal reward, getting more acquainted, demystifying what death is, and feeling more comfortable with my own dying process. And if I can be there someday for my parents who are still alive, I'd be delighted. And I certainly do feel more and more comfortable with that process all the time.
Yeah, I guess one of those certainties, the need for the services offered by hospice, you're going to need something like that, no matter who you are eventually. That's at some point, and having some insight throughout your life can really help. You said you were the coordinator of volunteers for a while. I assume that in that time you probably dealt with the need for more volunteers at times. Kind of training and stuff goes on when you're getting volunteers together. How much could it help to have more volunteers?
Well, volunteers have a way of coming and going. So people have other endeavors and will remain a volunteer for a few years and go on to something else or move away. So all volunteers are trained by very qualified people that sometimes we bring from elsewhere in Tofino, and more because there's more and more expertise. We have people that are able to do trainings that are from Tofino. We always need more volunteers because of that, because people leave, people go away, or people go on to do something else. Even with remaining volunteers, I always crave more trainings. So it's good to have all the community involved in making that happening, because dying is part of all of the community. It's touching the whole community as well. So.
Well, that's all the real kind of organized questions I had. Is there anything you'd like to say, just a parting note or anything about the Hospice Society?
Encouraging people to become a member of Hospice, because, like I said, it's something that touches all of us in the community, and it's a simple and small way to be a part of this beautiful organization.
Good. Well, thanks a lot, Therese. We will have information about how you can donate to the Hospice Society coming up.